Hey Ryan, how much loan do I qualify for? Let's talk about that. Hey guys, welcome to video 17. Today we're going to be talking about mostly your debt to income ratio. We're going to be talking about that in reference to the question, how much house can I afford? Or how much can I qualify for? Those two questions are very different in the way that you answer them. What you can afford and what you can qualify for sometimes are different. Not always, but sometimes. So we're going to explore those two questions through the lens of your debt to income ratio. I'm going to break that down a little bit for you and give you some helpful tips on how to determine what a good price range is when you're doing your house search. Let's talk about what debt to income ratio actually is. Debt to income ratio is actually a very easy calculation. It's your monthly expenses divided by your monthly verifiable income. Okay, let's quick side note on the verifiable piece. If you have a lot of cash transactions that come in and out of your bank account, those are not going to count. Okay, if you also are a self-employed borrower, if you own your own business and you write off everything under the sun, there's only certain things that I can add back. In video 3 that talks about showing income on your tax return, I talk about what those things are, but in short, I can add back interest expenses and I can add back depreciation, which is most of the time, and one-time expenses if they truly are one-time. Go check out video 3 to hear more about the income side of self-employed borrowers and showing income on your tax return. But suffices to say that I can only use that income number on the bottom of that ratio. I can only show as verifiable income. All right, now we know a little bit about debt to income. We know how to calculate it. Let's talk about that question that we saw that was at the front of this video. How much house do I qualify for? Well, debt to income ratios are required to be 50% or less. There's some different requirements for different types of loans. In-house products can also have different debt to income requirements, but most of the time on a conventional loan, you're looking at a maximum debt to income ratio of 50%. All right, let's talk practically about what a 50% debt to income ratio looks like. That means that half of your income is going to things like student debt or credit cards or car loans or other mortgage debts, anything that's collateralized. That's what's calculated in that top part of the ratio on the debt to income ratio. What is not included in that debt to income ratio are things that I call quality of life expenses, like groceries, electric bill, water bill, insurance, so on and so forth. Those types of things that you have to have in order to function in life, but they are not on your credit report. So what that means is that not only is half of your income going towards your other debt requirements, that means that there's other things that you have to pay for on a monthly basis. You have to keep the lights on, you have to have water, that is not included in that. So you're really starting to stretch yourself pretty thin from a inflow-outflow standpoint when you're at that 50% debt to income ratio. I want to make a really quick disclaimer here. Just because your debt to income is 50% does not mean that you're in big trouble. Okay, there's lots of borrowers that I've qualified on 50% debt to income ratios that had extenuating circumstances. Mainly it's self-employed borrowers that only could show a certain amount of income, so their debt to income was a little bit higher on the ratio side. The actual inflow-outflow of their business was more accurate to their lifestyles. Okay, let's talk about some helpful hints in order to get you to where you need to be on setting a home search price range. One of the things that used to be in part of the mortgage qualification process is what's called a front-end debt to income ratio. What that is that's the new mortgage payment that you're trying to qualify for, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance all combined over your monthly income, and that's called your front-end debt to income ratio. That is a great tell for where you are affordability-wise on your home loan. If it were me giving you a helpful hint, I think that ratio needs to be somewhere between 30 and 35% to make sure that you are in a good, safe range and you're still leaving room for what we talked about earlier with those quality of life expenses. Okay guys, that's video 17. Thank you so much for sticking around talking about debt to income ratios. I hope that was helpful. I hope it didn't discourage anybody. I just wanted to give people a clear picture of what debt to income is. You know, a lot of times interest rates and credit scores get a lot of the airtime when it comes to mortgages and kind of the pressure points there, but really your debt to income ratio is something that really can make or break a loan decision. So make sure that you understand that. Make sure that you understand what the implications are. My job as your lender is to give you the information so that you can make the best possible decision for yourself. I'm not saying that one way is better than the other way. I just want you to know and understand the implications of the decisions that you're making. And so whether that's a 50% debt to income ratio that we get you qualified on, or if it's a 15% debt to income ratio, I'm happy to help you any way that I can. Please reach out if I can help you with your mortgage needs. Also, please leave any comments or questions down below if you have any different scenarios, or if you have any other tips for how to set a good budget for your home purchase. Realtors, feel free to leave that stuff down in the comments. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Incidentally, we'll be talking about, see, I just did it.